freedom of a woman expressing again. And this one, it's called Ek Prashn, which means a question. This is a very short poem. A universal feeling across the boundaries, any countries across. More often than not, a woman is reduced to a caretaker of home and children. This is regardless of the fact that she's working outside home and contributing to the family kitty or not. So as a woman, she's sort of misses, and she poses this question to her life partner or husband or whoever, that are you even aware that I'm a woman in this whole daily routine of running the house, looking after the children? Are you even aware that I want to have finer feelings? There is need for finer feelings of being loved, of being cared for in a relationship. So that is the question, a question. Ek prashn in Hindi we say. And she says, are you even aware of that I'm a woman? पता है तुम्हें क्या कि नारी हूं मैं? पता है तुम्हें क्या कि नारी हूं मैं? मेरे अस्तित्व का आभास है तुम्हें? तिल तिल घुटने क्षण क्षण पिघलने का ज्ञान है तुम्हें? पता है तुम्हें क्या कि नारी हूं मैं? वो पाने की इच्छा, वो छूने के सपने, कठिनतम ये जीवन, न पोखर न साए। पता है तुम्हें क्या कि नारी हूं मैं? वो घुट घुट के जीना, वो सपने सजाना, वो मंडप बनाना, बना के गिराना। पता है तुम्हें क्या कि नारी हूं मैं? वो दफ्तर की हड़हड़, पड़ोसी की खड़खड़, वो दफ्तर की हड़हड़, पड़ोसी की खड़खड़, दुधिये की आमद, बाई का ना आना, छोटू की वर्दी, गुड़िया की पुस्तक। क्या यही है बस जीवन? क्या जीवन यही है? पता है तुम्हें क्या कि नारी हूं मैं? एंड देन कम्स द टर्निंग पॉइंट। उम्मीदें वफाएं घुटी कामनाएं, उम्मीदें वफाएं घुटी कामनाएं, सच के संवर के तेरे पास आए। उम्मीदें वफाएं घुटी कामनाएं, सच के संवर के तेरे पास आए। कभी तो तुम्हें हम ये बता पाएं, तेरे वास्ते ही हैं हम ये दुनिया सजाए। पता है तुम्हें क्या कि नारी हूं मैं? पता है तुम्हें क्या कि नारी हूं मैं? पता है तुम्हें क्या कि नारी हूं मैं? So in this poem, the woman asks a question to her partner, to her husband, to whoever she's spending her life with, that are you even aware of my existence? Every moment I expect and I want that you should love me, you should touch me. This life is so difficult. There is hard, sometimes there is, the imagery says that sometimes there is drought, there's no water. Sometimes I can't even breathe, but still I dream. I dream, and I make castles in the air, and all those castles just disappear in thin air. And then I see all these problems of office and neighbors, and in Indian circumstances, we have maids coming to the house, so she's coming or not, has the milkman come or not, are we buying a toy for our son, or where are the books for the children? So, or is life just this, nothing else? And I'm asking this question to you, the woman says, that I have expectations. I want love. I want to be with you. I want to be faithful to you. I want you to be faithful to me. And I dress up and I make myself presentable and I come in front of you so that you love me, you possess me, you give me all that love that I need as a woman. So this is as brief as I could be. Thank you so much for listening to my poems. Any questions?
Thank you, Shamina. Thank you so much. The poems that you spoke, I'm sure many women and men, everyone in the world they resonated deeply with everyone. The first poem on monsoon. Yes, in India, monsoons really touched everyone. I remember once I wrote a very short haiku on it. I think it went like, monsoon rains, come, monsoon rains. I have forgotten now. I had it in my mind while you were speaking. Yes, monsoon rains, come wash the sins life gave me, or the ones I gave myself. So rains have this ability, and monsoon rains, especially in India, have the ability to totally wash you and renew you in so many different ways, and you can immerse yourself in rain. One cries, once there's Charlie Chaplin once said, when I cry, I walk in the rain so no one can see my tears. So you really brought that out beautifully, and the way the woman was abused and then, left. And then the other poem as well, heart-touching, about how a woman wants love and a man, the man in her life may not understand or even see her in that way. Thank you so much. If anyone would like to ask a question or say something, most welcome, or we can come back. Yes, I thought I was. Hello? Anita?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sure, Rupali, go ahead. I really enjoyed China's poetry. It's so full of, firstly, I like the way she recited it and how she explained it so that everybody else would also understand. And it's so rooted in India, and it smells the monsoon that you were saying. And, the way the sound, the way the very beautiful sound sort of then starts becoming, can you hear me?
Yes, sure. I can hear you, yes.
The chum, the sound of the falling rain, it also becomes a little strong and harsh. It's very onomatopoeic, it's the sound coming through, and women's lives and how we struggle and long, there's a lot of longing and unreciprocated love, which I think most of us feel as women, that we haven't got what we actually were looking for. So thank you so much, Shine. You have given such a wonderful picture of, us women, and especially, all women, I think, but it's so rooted in India.
Thank you, Rupali. Thank you so much.
I just want to add a little bit here. Shaina Khanji may not acknowledge, but I must acknowledge she was my first media trainer. I started off my All India radio journey with her when she was a program executive, I think 30 years ago, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, so, 30 years ago,
Yes, and then I was very fortunate to undergo training through her, and she's been a lifelong guru, as always. And about the poem, yes, she's always inspired me to write and express. And I still do radio shows here in Canada at a local radio station. And I still perform the way I perform because the way I was trained at All India Radio by Shanti. But about the poetry, the way you recite it, Sawan, Sham, Cham, Jam, Jam, Rim, it actually was very visual. I could feel Sawan, actually. And then suddenly the sound change comes up. So that's the master stroke of a master. So thank you, Shanti.
Thank you so much, Harish. As always, you make me very proud. And it's your own talent which came out. Yes, please, Suzanne wants to say something, yes? Your microphone is mute.
Go ahead, Suzanne. Go ahead now.
I just think advocating for female rights, people need to know it's not anti-men. It's really about the importance of women being all they can be, and that enhances men and everyone. And it's really important that people don't identify feminism with that anti-male. Because I had a dad, I had a son, I love them. It's not that. It's about the right to...
It's gone mute. Thank you so much. Suzanne, actually, my own son and my own son-in-law Amar and Hamid, they're all, both of them are on this show right now also. And Harish is actually another son of mine. All I want to say is that, it is a universal fact, as you just, but a lot of responsibility lies with the women, how they bring up their sons to respect women, to be good citizens in society. And if we do our job at home, if we bring up our children, our sons especially, to respect mothers and then sisters and then wives and then daughters, so there is no way that a woman would suffer. A woman is always, forgiving. But once she is respected and loved, she gives even more.
Well said, well said. I'm going to have to move on to the next because of the time. But well said, and we can have a separate session on race. I think that we can have a separate session on gender, which includes all